Awesome. We're going. What's going on, fam? What's going on? I hope everybody's doing great. I hope everybody's doing fantastic. This weekend started off very strong, or the strong has started off in great fashion with a lot of momentum. And we're going to talk about the strength stroll. We're going to talk about how we got there, why you need to go on it, and the benefits of it. So one, before you go on the strength stroll, you got to learn how to cut cords. I'm going to explain the strength stroll as we get there. But I want y'all to remember that right now. I'm going to go on a strength stroll. Actually, I'm not going to. I'm on a strength stroll. 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 And before we get on the strength stroll, before we can go and really build up that strength, you have to learn to do what's called cutting cords. You got to cut out certain people from your life. You got to cut out certain people from your environment. You got to cut off certain people from your energy. Why? Because people, when they're not at a state of wanting to grow, with wanting to flourish, what they're going to do, and instead of pulling energy from within themselves, they're going to pull it from you. And that's the first thing. I'm not even going to go into depth on it, but really, more importantly, cutting cords is really for you. Why? When you start cutting cords, not only are there energy vampires, sometimes you can be an energy vampire. This is the hard truth that you got to accept about yourself and your development. Sometimes you are the energy vampire. Sometimes you are becoming too dependent on other people and their support and their validation. You have to cut the cords, and sometimes those cord cuttings are firm and they're forever, and sometimes it's cutting it so that you can breathe for a little bit and you're going to connect later. It's really more unplugging. So we're gonna leave it at that point right now. Sometimes you got to cut cords, sometimes you just got to unplug for a moment, and the reason for that is so that you can really begin to reflect and build up that power, that strength that's within you. You won't get everywhere where you need to go by yourself, but there are certain things that only you must go through. There's only certain things that you must grow through. And isolation is a perfect catalyst for that. You have to isolate yourself sometimes when you're going through a period of recovery, when you're going through a period of healing. And I don't care how great your health is, unless you worked on it, you probably need some healing. We all need healing because we're in a society, we're in a world that has many illusions, many falsehoods. And unless your parents are at the highest state of awareness and the people around you are at the highest state, subconsciously, you begin to pick up some of those habits, those patterns, some of that poison that's in your body. And in order for you to really go and build up that strength within yourself, you got to cut cords, you got to disconnect from certain people. Within you has been gifted the creative energy, the creative force, the creative power of the Creator, God, Allah, whoever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it. Within you rests that same power. And if you recognize that on your healing process, you have to begin to refer back into self so that you can really complete your healing journey, so that you can really complete your ultimate calling in life. And once you get to the point where you've cut off cords and you've disconnected, the only thing left is yourself. And you need to get to this point sometimes, and there's only two ways you get here, and it's sad, but this is how it happens. Sometimes we get here because we hit rock bottom. You hit rock bottom. Everything that we love has gone away. All the money that we had, all the connections that we made, for whatever reason, it just goes away. We pissed it away, or people have done us wrong, done us bad, and we hit rock bottom. Or you make a conscious decision to cut cords and disconnect. And most people don't choose the second part. It happens in the first manner. I'm giving you this message right now, so if you have not hit rock bottom, or if you're there, you can choose to cut the cords and disconnect on your own so that you can actually prepare yourself to move onto the strength stroll. Before I go any further, if you got whoever's watching, share it. Please share the message, share this energy. I'm actually going to share it on my page right now, or share it to some groups. I think it's very important, the message I'm going to share. And I don't share these messages just because they typically are just things that are on my mind, and I feel compelled to share them with you all. These are things that I go through myself, or things that I'm already doing or I've done. And I think they can be beneficial for everybody on their journey. So go ahead and share this, y'all. Share it to your group, share it to your pages, whatever you need to do. But just share it. We're about to keep going. Just a second, everybody. Just a second. I'm sharing it on my page, my other pages. All right. That's cool. People are doing it when they want. But the ability to consciously make a decision to cut off certain people or to disconnect with certain people for a certain period of time is important, because it allows you the time in an environment without distraction, so that you can really reflect on self, and you can begin to pull the energy from yourself. A lot of the times, if you are always around people, it's convenient for you, and so when you're going through those tough periods in life, you lean on them, and you're always leaning on them. And it's good to have support system, but it can be detrimental to your development, because if you don't ever learn to stand on your own, to stand by yourself, you will always be dependent. And that's sometimes these codependent tendencies tend to happen. Either we're always leaning on people, or we're in such a hurry to lean on somebody else, or we don't really just build up the strength within ourselves to continue on our journey. And that is what the strength stroll is all about. It is building up that internal energy, that internal fortitude, the discipline, and the ability to stand firm on your own 2 feet. To stand firm on your own 2 feet with just your mind. Your mind is your only weapon to equip yourself so that you can move forward through life. You have to go on this strength stroll. A lot of people neglect it, and it leads them to these cycles of life where they are constantly attached to people that are not good for them. They keep putting up with things that are not their standards, because they become weak internally. And just as strength can be worked on, weakness can also come upon you if you don't work your skills. And the only way to work that skill of being able to stand firm on your own 2 feet is by going on the strength stroll, is by doing things on your own. Do not fear the isolation. The isolation is important for you because it allows you the time in the space to reflect on yourself without outside interference. You have to reflect on yourself without the outside interference. And if you are not at a position in life where you can really just cut cords, maybe you have kids, maybe you're taking care of somebody important to you, you're building a business right now, whatever the case may be, you can do small walks, which is like a stroll every day with yourself, and that can be done through the practice of meditation. That can be done through the practice of just breathing. That can be done by actually addressing your problems within yourself and not seeking other people to give you solutions all the time. I want y'all to understand that you don't always have to seek a solution from somebody else. You can trust yourself enough to make a decision and follow through with it. Because guess what? When you ask somebody else for a solution, yes, it's good. But I'm going to tell you how they got the solution. They bumped their head. Oh, snap. Or they made a decision and it worked. So the reason I want to emphasize that is because you have the same power. You have the same power to do that. You have the same amount of knowledge that is in your head to figure out the answer. You don't always have to seek outside of yourself. Sometimes there are things that we want to seek clarity on, or maybe we want to get a little guidance on, and that's fine. And I'm not advising you to not do those things, but I am advising you to start taking a little more responsibility and ownership over the decisions that you choose in life. Do not leave the choices that you must take. Do not leave the path that you must walk on in the hands of other people. You have to build up enough strength inside yourself to have courage and have enough bravery to step out and walk on your path, to walk on your journey. It's going to be very important. Really, I feel like it's already here. The period of life that we're in right now is going to be dictated upon you following your calling, you following your truth, you following your path. And if you are not at a point where you can build up that, you don't have enough strength built up, well, you're always going to be subject to other people and what other people want you to do. Because you will seek comfort, you will seek companionship, and you will not be able to withstand the periods of isolation without somebody by your side. And therefore, you will go through unnecessary pain and struggles just because you didn't know how to stand up by yourself. You have to go on your strength stroll. You have to learn to stand up by yourself. You must develop self-soothing techniques to calm yourself down in the midst of adversity. When you're going through things in life, sometimes all you gotta do quite literally is breathe. And the knowledge that I give you all is not anything special at all. You kind of know it intrinsically, but we've become so far detached from ourselves, from nature, from our intrinsic nature, that we've forgotten how to do these things. And that's the importance of the strength stroll. It's important because it reconnects you back into you. It reconnects you back to your inner intelligence, your consciousness that's connected with the Most High. It connects you back to your imagination. Imagination is the reuse of it's the use of resources. And if you understand what a resource is let's break it down real fast. Resource. We are just changing how we're using source. That's imagination. It's using your mental resources, and that all it's already inside you, y'all. I can't explain any simpler. It's already inside you. So take your strength stroll. Go on those paths by yourself. Go on walks by yourself. Date yourself. Date yourself for a while if you haven't done that. Go out to places just you. Enjoy your own company. Be your own confidant. Become your best friend. Be your own diary. Express those dark secrets that you don't want to express to anybody, to yourself, because guess what? A lot of the times we have those thoughts in our head and we are afraid to say them out loud. Nobody's around, but we're afraid to say them out loud. We are hiding our truths from ourselves. And the only way you can address those truths, the only way that you can address yourself is if you go on the strength stroll. You go on the walk by yourself. So do that today. Walk by yourself. Learn to stand on your own 2 feet, everybody. But that's it for today, y'all. My name is 𝐿𝐷𝐼𝐴𝐷. I do want you all to learn to walk by yourself. And sometimes you got to walk with somebody until you can do it by yourself. That's okay. But I want you to have it, your end goal, to be working by yourself. You can go with people. You know, they say if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. But if you want to be part of a group, if you want to be a beneficial part of a group, guess what? You got to be able to carry your own weight. You have to bring something else to the table as well. Okay? And the only way you'll be able to bring things to the table is if you have internal strength. So build up your internal strength. There's a lot of techniques. There's a lot of things that you can do to do that. I'm here to give you those suggestions for you to go on those walks by yourself. My name is 𝐿𝐷𝐼𝐴𝐷. I'm the owner and founder of 𝐈𝐧𝐯, where we're changing the standard from performance to people. As always, love, light, peace.